I'm not one of those guys that knows my measurements of my board to the you know, fraction of an inch. I go more by feel, and well, I can tell you it's polypro and stringer.
You always use polypro and stringers?
I always use polypro and stringer, and I'm probably in about a 40-inch to a 40 and a half. That's all I can really tell you. That's all I know.
All right, well, while we wait this heat to get going, well, we see our rider in yellow right now going Brahimi Douche. Bottom turning, look at that roll.
Whoa.
Oh, flipping it.
Let me tell you, this guy last year out here was going to town. So I reckon he's going to be going some serious stuff here today. And that just shows you, first wave of the heat, he just went
he started things off with a bang right there.
all out.
And as we get this heat started up, let's send you some messages from our sponsor.
There we go. So we're back in action here. Diego Cabrera just stroking into one here.
Man, just coming back from commercial like it was lined up that way. Diego, we're ready for you. Go.
Oh,
Wow, just getting lipped right there.
I saw where he was looking, and I don't think he expected that lip to come down on him. He thought he was kind of in the clear, and the wave was going to peter out, and it just kind of lipped him in the head and buried him.
Now, remember, Sasha, this is the 10th anniversary of the Arica Chilean Challenge. So, I mean, it's just awesome to have a contest this amazing and this high of a level of competition, and for it to be going this long.
Absolutely. I'm blown away. I mean, I've been here for 3 years now, the last 3 years, and wow, look at this replay. Hang on.
Jacob Romero, the Hawaiian.
Just sitting in the hole. How does he lift his feet up so he didn't get lipped? That was pretty well calculated from Jacob Romero. He's going to get a good score for that. Yeah, back to the event, you know.
Here's in the red.
There's too much action. Wow. There's been a lot of barrel rides going on in this heat. Jeff Hubbard just in and out. Not too deep, but good control. And
well, we can't really tell, to be fair, from that angle.
Absolutely. But, I mean, some of the guys were really behind it and stuff, so we'll see what the judges give him. We'll wait for that. And, yeah, back to the event. You know, like you said, 10 years is quite an achievement on its own.
Yeah.
And I've been here for 3 years and watched it grow. So, I mean, the guys that have been a part of this event since the beginning, they would have really seen a huge improvement and growth in an awesome event like this, and seeing the locals being so involved and making it happen is awesome. So, you know, thank you to everyone involved for those past 10 years.
We want to say get well to Clyde, who's in Taiwan with a busted leg. He said we're saving his sanity by being able to watch bodyboarding while he's in the hospital.
Yeah, Clyde.
And he wants to know what your favorite spot is in South Africa.
My favorite spot?
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably my home break. I live in Cape Town, and Llandudno is my home break, and I love it because all my friends are there, you know, the crew, and the waves are insane. The water's freezing cold, and I love it. That's my kind of cup of tea.
Here's Jacob Romero again, the Hawaiian.
He loves big right ramps like that. Jacob Romero just riding out of that invert. Judge is going to love that. That was high risk, high flying. And I think we're going to see plenty more of that from Jacob Romero out here. And we're going to have a replay here. Look at this. He's trimming high line, and he just comes off the bottom. He's eyeing out this section. Look at this. Hits it just a fraction late, but I mean, he still gets massive air. Huge tweak on that thing, and rides out of it clean. I think Judge is going to love that. You can see the boys having a look here. Diego Cabrera opting not to go. He was probably in last priority, which means he can paddle for anything he wants as long as nobody else goes. It's not going to change his priority situation. And, the Moroccan Brahimi Douche opts for this one, scooping into the ball.
Yeah, hooking right into that thing.
I don't know if they got waves like this in Morocco, but I mean, he looks pretty comfortable out here. He's quite a fearless competitor when it comes to heavy waves, and he's been going for it pretty hard in these last few events, and it's awesome to see, you know, especially a Moroccan. I mean, who would have thought? And I hear there's amazing waves there, and I've met some incredibly talented bodyboarders.
If I had to guess, I would say they got some good waves.
Yeah, I reckon so too.
Just from where you look at where it is on the map, as we see the replay of Brahim dropping in. He's kind of a loose drop in late, kind of out of control, and he got control real quick there and started driving down the line. Found that little barrel section. Also, you know, a lot of people have been asking this question, Specs. A lot of guys asking about the GoPro mounts. How do they get these GoPro mounts like the ones that you're using when you paddle out?
It's actually just a regular chesty mount. I think they call them chesty or something like that, and where they're just modified a little bit, where we can unstrap unhook the straps and just put them into like a nice direct connection. You know, that straps around your waist with the mount around your back. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing. If you play around with that chesty mount, you'll figure it out. GoPro have come to the party, and they've made a pretty versatile little item there. And yeah, pretty simple, I guess. That's all I can tell you. And a little bit of a break in the action here. This Diego and Jeff just sitting out the back, patiently waiting their turn. And, we got handed a nice little sheet here that gives us some information with regards to some seedings. I guess if you want to say the rankings. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. See Babi Kunan is coming in from his last heat. He doesn't look too happy, but I mean, he put on a great performance, and he should be happy with that. Incredible competitor, especially out here. Awesome to watch. You know, always action-packed and never giving up. You can see it looking kind of gloomy on the screen there. It is quite chilly here in Chile.
Let's talk about the weather conditions. I talked about it a little bit earlier with Ryan Hardy, and you know, the Atacama Desert is right here, and this is actually the single driest desert in the world. There are parts of this desert that have not rained one time in over 350 years.
350 years or 150 years?
350 years.
Wow.
Now, the reason being is because of the way the landscape is and this Humboldt Current. We have this cold water coming up from Antarctica, from the Southern Ocean, coming up the entire west coast of South America, and the Andes are on the west coast of South America. So we have this cold, damp air coming in from the ocean, and it completely is stopped by the Andes. And you know, the mountains are very close here to the ocean, literally, you know, within miles. So within the first mile or two of land here on the west coast, that cold, damp air, which is, you know, settles towards the bottom, towards you know, not very high up in elevation, settles down towards the bottom, and it hits that mountain and stops.
That's it.
And no moisture gets over those mountains.
Okay. Wow. So that's it. I guess that's the thing. So it doesn't actually allow for any rainfall to fall, to even be formed, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
No rain clouds to be formed.
It's similar to how the Gobi Desert works in China.
Okay.
With the Himalayas to the southwest.
Okay.
I mean, any moisture coming up from the Indian Ocean goes over India, hits the Himalayan mountains, and nothing goes over that.
Right. So it just
once
blocks
you go
it.
over that, it's just a complete stop of any moisture whatsoever.
Wow.
And like we said, I mean, literally over 300 years since they've had any significant rainfall in some spots here.
That's incredible. I mean, I don't even know how people live here. I guess they've made a plan. You know, they're resourceful, and they figured out a way to do it, which is fascinating for me.
We know that Arica and Iquique are literally oases here in the desert, and there's groundwater, you know, that comes from up north towards Bolivia and Peru that actually flows to the south underground and comes up in these areas. But other than that, there's no fresh water to be had here for, you know, hundreds and hundreds of miles, or, you know, hundreds of kilometers, you might want to say.
Wow, that fascinates me beyond belief, because the people are flourishing here. They've created a beautiful city of Arica, and you know, I'm like I said, I'm just fascinated. I'm blown away by it.
Yeah, very interesting.
I have noticed that every morning I've woken up here, it's been kind of misty, kind of gloomy, and the air has been very humid.
Well, it's because the moisture has nowhere to go.
Exactly. So I mean, they must be relying on that to some extent, and I guess it does keep it temperate. You know, that cold ocean current keeps the weather quite temperate along the coast here, which is very comfortable.
And that's that Humboldt current.
Awesome, awesome stuff. There's a wealth of information here, Apple. Thank you. And it looks like the swallows are on the rise as we speak. I mean, I arrived here this morning at about 6:30. It was almost. I mean, I could just see, pretty much. I could just see the waves from the event site. And there weren't any big sets just yet. And it seems like in these last 2 or 3 heats, the sets have started rolling in a little bit more consistently and slightly bigger. So I think we're going to see a rise in swell throughout the day. And the competitors are obviously excited about that because the action is going to heat up.
Yeah, and you know, the 2013 Arica Chile Challenge taking place here at El Gringo, or Flopos as it's known by the locals. And this wave is considered by many to be the most consistent wave on the planet.
I can imagine that. I mean, I've been here for like a week, and I haven't seen it smaller than 6 feet.
Yeah,
So
and when you look at where we are on the map, and you know how we set up to the Pacific Ocean, as we see in red taking off, that is
like Hubby.
Jeff Hubbard.
High line, little speed check turn, and he looks like he's eyeing out a section on the end here. What's he going to do? Just
Nice
a big power roll through the lip, and I guess that's just something to open an account with. You know, he's got a 5.63 already, and so he's just going to want to add to that. And
Yeah.
I guess that was a good call. You know?
So as I was saying, I mean, once again, Hubby on this replay on the right, getting a lot of speed there on the takeoff, kind of almost airdropping there. There's a little speed check and a beautiful roll, like you said. But you know, this is one of the most consistent waves on the planet. And if you look at where we are on the map, I mean, this wave is open to any swells. You'll see, wow, Hubbard pushing through that lip. But any swell in the entire Pacific Ocean gets here, whether it's, you know, a storm, you know, churning off of northern Japan that gives, you know, pipeline waves, or a swell coming from south of New Zealand that gives Tahiti waves.
Wow.
Those waves, secondary, will eventually end up here at El Gringo.
Wow, and I guess those are long-range swells that are coming from a long distance, and that's going to give a lot of power, you know, if they do reach here in full force.
Yeah, long period right there. And we do have Yo-Yo down on the beach with our heat number 3 winner. That's your South African countryman, Jared Houston and Yo-Yo.
Winner of the last heat, Jared Houston. Here we are with him. Jared?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's my first heat ever won out there, so I'm just happy to have got off to a good start and get a couple of barrels.
Jared, people are getting a big score with the right hand. It was a special plan that you had for that?
Yeah, well, I actually I just was trying to concentrate on going left. Actually, like all the years I've been here, it's kind of the big scores been on the left. So I stuck the lefts in my heat, but now in the heat after me, I've seen a lot of guys getting good scores on the right. So it's good to know the judges are looking there as well. So yeah, maybe I'll go right the next one, do air or something.
So I saw you very confident with your equipment. You can tell us about this, Jared?
Yeah, man, I'm super happy. I signed with Pride Bodyboards just like 2 weeks before I came over, and just feeling so confident in my new boards, and just, yeah, so pumped and so happy to be riding good equipment, and just so amped on bodyboarding again. So thanks to them.
Well, thank you very much, Jared. And we start with the right foot. I hope that everything goes well on the next hit. And, well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, just big thanks to my girlfriend, Natasha. I know she's watching. And, yeah, just want to say hello to her and all my family and friends back home. Miss you guys. Love you all. And see you soon.
Back to you guys. Thank you very much. Ew.
Well, thank you, Yo-Yo. One of our local legend, Yo-Yo, who's been taking care of everybody and helping really put together this event. He has been absolutely phenomenal in contributing to the 2013 Arica Chilean Challenge. As we see, Jacob Romero, a guy who loves these rights, getting yet another one. Look at all that speed, cutting back, trimming for that barrel. It goes up top. Look at that, getting upside down with that flip. And Jacob, and look at on the left, wow. Things are really heating up here in this heat. Diego Cabrera with an amazing left just now. We're going to try to get that replay going as well. So some great action that we have seen here while we're watching some different replays. And it's so many good waves, both the lefts and the rights. It's hard to keep up. And take a look at this. On the left, Diego Cabrera driving that barrel. Look at all the speed. Sasha spinning twice, pops out. Bottom turns back up under it a second time. A little foamy right there and ditching out at the last minute to save his skin. And he's looking really good right there on that wave. And we're going to have some scores coming through here momentarily. We're still waiting for Jacob Romero's third wave score. And then we're waiting for that score from Diego Cabrera.
I enjoy watching Diego Cabrera serve. He's an exciting rider to watch because he's quite unpredictable and he's got a lot of skill, actual skill. So he really applies himself really well and pushes his personal limit as well, his personal boundaries out of his comfort zone. He likes to do that, and that's awesome to watch and awesome to see in a competitor.
Also, for all you fans at home who are waiting for these scores to come through, remember, check out IBAWorldTour.com. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube page, you should be doing it already. Also, follow our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook, and you can find links to guys like Sasha and myself on there as well. Check out what we're up to. It can never hurt.
Absolutely. There's a lot of really cool imagery and interviews and information that's running through on those YouTube channels and Instagram. So definitely have a browse and give us a follow and give us some suggestions. If you think we can do something better, or if you have any positive feedback for us, let us know. We are always open to that.
And one of our IBA fans, Tiago, has been bringing up some different stuff on our message boards and on our IBA Facebook page, talking about the different sizes of the boards. And, do you think in the future, Sasha, that in the future board designs and sizes are going to change more as far as, as per the rider's height and weight? Do you think guys are going to start taking that to more extremes?
I think it's at a pretty good place where it is now. I do think there is a little bit of room for it. Like I say, the future is something that you can't really predict. So it's going to be something that's we're just going to have to see as it comes. But with regard to weight, height, ratio, I don't think it's going to change that much, no. I personally think it's going to be more with materials, the actual materials used, and possibly the density of the materials. How much buoyancy certain materials offer and how much flex certain materials offer. And the way certain materials respond, in different temperatures. I know some of the board brands are starting to use, I don't know how to explain it, but they like a stringer insert system, so you can exchange stringers in the board. And that's kind of where it's going, I think, where you can control how a board reacts in different temperatures and in different types of waves.
Now, talk about the different cores that are available now in bodyboarding. I mean, we lost, in the 80s and 90s, we had our Cell, which was very popular. I don't know if you ever rode any of those boards.
I did.
And Dow used to make that foam, and they don't make that anymore. Polypro is relatively similar. Talk about what you think about the cores and what's available.
Well, I'm actually not very knowledgeable in this department. I mean, as far as I know, what we're rolling with right now is a Polypro core. Is the most common that is used. And then after that, we're looking at another core called a 3D or a NRG core. Different brands are calling them different names. But I think they're just pretty much a softer version of a PP, of a Polypro. And then we're just going for something even softer than that. And then what the guys are doing is they're adding layers of mesh and double stringers that are carbon fiber to stiffen up. And I mean, the varieties...
Brahim.
The variables in all of these mixtures are endless. You can do layers of mesh, which Brahim Douche probably needs right now as he got smashed on that big one. I hope he's okay. He's in a pretty dangerous place there. You can see Diego Cabrera just opting for that very next wave in the hole.
Wow, popping through that section.
He's going to be looking for a little roll.
Nice.
There we go. Good power, good control. And...
Sasha and Luton Patterson wants to know, what's your favorite wave in Western Australia, and what's your favorite wave in the southwest of Australia?
Luton, I haven't spent much time in southwest Australia, to be honest. I spent a little bit of time down on Margaret River, I got to surf the box pretty good, and I really love that wave.
Yeah,
and
that's a good answer right there.
That's all I can tell you.
As good as it gets. As we see the replay from our rider in blue, Diego. So let's take a look at our scores. Jacob Romero, with a good solid lead of 15.3, his scoring waves of 8.25 and a 7.05, and his throwaway of a 6.63 is a pretty high scoring wave as well. Hubby, 12.51 total, followed by Diego Cabrera and Brahim Idouche. But Diego now, with that 6.28, just popped up into second place, taking it away from Jeff Hubbard with 9 minutes to go. But we've seen the replay right there from Hubbard. Is that going to best his 5.63? And it does. It puts him up. He has a 6.88. So 2 6.88s for Jeff Hubbard are putting him in to second place.
And as this heat counts down, it looks like I'm going to be out of here for a little while. And I think Dave Winchester is ready to step into my place.
Perfect.
I'll be back in a little bit. Let me know if you...
Specs, thanks so much.
If you need anything, I'm here to help.
How you going, Winnie?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Congratulations on your heat victory.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I was sort of walking up and they were calling my name out straight away. Dave Winchester, check in. I was kind of lagging a little bit. And so I was a little bit nervous. Banged my shin really bad on the coming up the stairs this morning. So.
Ouch. Now, we talked about Winnie. You're one of the guys who's had quite a bit of success here. You've been in the finals quite a bit. You and Guillermo have had some famous battles here. What is it you think? Why does this wave seem to click for you? Maybe, obviously you're a good bodyboarder. You ride good waves all over the world. But why does this wave work for you for your style?
I guess I'd say I'm really comfortable with this wave. It's such a, it is really, really heavy wave. But
you better knock on wood there, buddy. Don't jinx yourself.
It is a really, really heavy wave, but I do really enjoy it. The lefts are just really nice barrels, and you can kind of scoop into them under the lip, and offers you a really heavy but shallow bowl on the end. But if you kind of, I guess you go for it, and sort of luck goes your way, you're all right. And then that ride obviously is kind of similar, but a bit longer. And so I don't know. I guess it suits my style of surfing. I like doing airs and getting some good barrels. So you just got to sort of go for it.
Yeah. And what do you think about competing in the first heat of the day? Does that bother you? Do you like it? Is it hard for you to wake up straight away and be out there in the heat?
This morning didn't really give me too much time. I just sort of woke up and I was straight into it. So it was all right, but this heat's a pretty tight one. You see Jacob Romero out in front with a 15.3, Jeff Hubbard with a 13.76, and Diego Cabrera from Canary Islands with a 13.26. He needs a 6.76 to go into third, and Brahim Idouche from Morocco is in combo land and needs to get busy with 6.5.
I love that term, combo land.
Yeah. So
look
here
at this.
We go. Ooh.
Hubby, take a look at it. No, another rider in yellow. That is Brahim Idouche from Morocco. Look at this driving barrel. Ooh. Not going to come out of that one. And I'm reading up on some of the notes that Seamus put together. Seamus, by the way, thank you so much for all your notes. Seamus, one of our guys running the IBA media stuff, and really helped me out. But man, it's amazing. Diego Cabrera has been to the hospital every year he's competed here. Tell me about this.
Oh my gosh, I think it was the first year. What did he do the first year? I'm not sure if he hit the reef, but then last year he hit his head on his board really, really bad.
He hit on his board?
Yeah, on his board. He did a big reverse there to the flats on the left, so out into the flat water, and banged his head on his board so hard that he actually, I think,
had some swelling of the brain.
Yeah, and he was in hospital for a bit, and then
he had to stay here in Arica for 3 months before he was allowed to fly home.
Yeah, and then this time I saw him at the airport in Arica, and I was kind of thinking, what are you doing here, mate? Last 2 years you've gone to the hospital, and then he's already been again this year. He went the other day for food poisoning, had to get on the drip. So he is, I don't know, he's really testing the limits here, and it's just that he's always ending up in a hospital. So I was pretty shocked to see him here again. But hopefully all is well for Diego this year from here on in, and we'll see him have a bit better heat. 5 minutes to go with this heat. See that next heat paddling out.
So let me give you a little breakdown. Jacob Romero in first place. Jeff Hubbard needs an 8.42 to take over the lead. Diego Cabrera in third needs a 6.78 to steal that advancing position from Hub. And Brahim Idouche in fourth place. He is in combo land.
Yeah, it's a sort of slow heat to start this. You see J-Rom and Jeff have actually got only 3 waves each, but they're all pretty good waves. So you see them patiently waiting out the back there, looking for listening for scores, or just lining up with something to make sure they're in the perfect spot on the reef. You see Dallas there jumping jumping out in the white. Pretty excited to see Dal hit to the air, go to the air on these lefts. He's really, really good on these, and I'm sure he's going to go big. With this new swell today, though, it kind of seems like there's a lot of big sets and nothing in between. You see them that are sitting there. Here we go.
Look at this.
J-Rom.
Ooh, bouncing down that face into the barrel on the left and not able to set his rail and drive. And he might have been too deep anyways. And look at the set behind it. It looks like these guys are going to get caught inside unless maybe Blue's going to get a shot of this. Nope.
Yeah, this new swell, it's sort of it's bringing those big sets in, and then there's nothing in between. You saw where Jeff and J-Rom were just sitting there with no waves around. So it's sort of the in-between lulls, and then it's just a couple of big ones. So we'll see sort of bigger heats coming in a second.
Well, once again, the 2013 Arica Chilean Challenge. I'll tell you what, 10 years in a row we've been running this insane contest. These waves are so good. We really want to thank the Municipalidad de Arica, as well as Tomate's Surf Shop, and our presenting sponsors, Mike Stewart, Science Bodyboards. Thank you so much, Movie Star, as well as LAN Airlines. LAN is one of the biggest airline here in Chile. And speaking of airlines, it was a battle to get down here, but it's worth it. Look at these waves. It took me over 24 hours to get here from LA. I can imagine how it was getting here from Australia. How'd you get here, Winnie?
Yeah, it's always pretty solid. You know, it's sort of 14-hour flight from Sydney straight across, and I don't know what it is. The time difference, terrible for jet lag here. You're always, I know Hardy's still waking up at sort of 4 in the morning now, and so it takes you sort of a good 7 days to really get into it, feel like you're at home. Here goes Diego. Big flip out of the bowl. That was nice and clean. And he went through the lip a little bit, but it was still amazing.
Still clean.
He liked that one. He gave it through a little claim or a little hello to the rocks or the crowd. But yeah, Diego's surfing really, really well. I heard he bought a new podcast out the other day, and everyone's happy with that and pretty excited on his surfing. So it's good to see him putting it into the contest again. Here we go. See, just under the lip there, but he executes it really well. Smooth landing, spins out of it, and little wave or something, little shucker.
Remember, keep those questions coming in on the IBA Facebook page. Also, a big shout out to Pab. Cameron Steele is watching us, as we just found out. He's watching the live broadcast. As you see, Jake Stone, Mike Stewart. Who else was in there?
That was Lockie Cramsey. Yeah. Oh, big flip. Oh, look how shallow that thing was from Brahim. He's kicking into the channel. Can he make it? Oh, look at that rock.
Onto the rocks.
What are you going to do there? Yeah, there's not much you can do there. He's just sort of got to ride that thing out, and he's on the rocks.
Yeah, Brahim was in combo land, and with just about a minute and 10 seconds to go. Not really the best spot to be, both physically as well as...
Yeah, so we saw that score come through for Diego Cabrera. On that last one, it wasn't enough. He got a 5.75 for that little flip on the inside. So with 50 seconds to go, Jeff and J-Rom just holding the fort out there.
Look how close these scores are between Diego and Jeff Hubbard.
Yeah, they're really, really close. And Jeff he got 2.688, so he just sort of pipped him on that one.
And it's a moral victory for Jacob Romero. I mean, the Hawaiian, to come out and beat these guys. I mean, to beat Jeff Hubbard, who's a multi-time world champion, and the guy who's currently leading the points, has got to really help the confidence of Jacob Romero.
Yeah, definitely. J-Rom's had some pretty good results over the years, and I know free surfing, watching him out here, he's been doing some big air reverses on those rights. So every time I see him take off on that big ride, I'm just really excited to see something huge go.
5 seconds to go here in heat number 4. It looks like Jacob Romero and Jeff Hubbard, the two Hawaiians, are going to move on.